Workers have been out on strike for about a month now, right? So my guess is that finances are probably starting to look challenged at some of those households. I think Kelly Ortberg, pulled out the, hey, we're going to raise $25 billion in cash and we're ready to go the distance. So I think those combinations, and then throwing some of the 401k money at them, right? There was some plus-ups on how much they would match in 401k. I think some initial, incentives on the 401k. I think they're pretty close, although I note that the union leadership wouldn't endorse it from everything I've read. They're just passing along this offer from Boeing to the workers, for a vote. My guess is this is pretty close. I think they might make it here, but I guess we'll get a chance to see by Wednesday, how cranky the union is and how much more they want. But it seems like it's pretty close.
George, how important is an end to this strike for Boeing and just broader sentiment there? I mean, shares are down about 39% year to date.
Yeah, it's huge, right? I think if it doesn't get agreed to, I think Boeing almost needs to raise money anyways. I guess it might help them decide what amount of cash they need to raise. I'm hearing stories that the supply chain's still building at the rates prior to the strike. Components are stacking up on their, on their loading docks. I think the longer it goes, the harder it is to restart the line, the longer it takes to restart the line, and the longer it takes to generate cash. And I think Kelly Ortberg would prefer not to go to the equity markets for a lot of money and prefer not to have to draw down any additional debt, not that they've said they would do that at this point. So it's very important for the turnaround. And again, timing is crucial to keeping the supply chain, I think, healthy and ready to go.
George, talk to us about, I know in the past you've educated us about the cash and how the cash comes in and cash leaves a company like Boeing, and it's tied pretty tightly to those 737 jets leaving the floor. How quickly can they restart it, and where do you think the build modes for that 737 jet will be, and where do they need to be?
Yeah, so I mean, they need to get that jet up into the mid 40s and 50s. I think it's going to take them, I think even if the strike ended today, I think they're not going to hit sort of, the 40-ish. Their target was 38 by the year end. I don't think they're going to hit maybe a 40-ish level until mid-year next year. They ought to be driving up towards 50. Maybe hopefully by the end of next year if the strike ended relatively soon. By comparison, Airbus's competitor airplane, the A320, that's being built right now in the mid-40s. They're driving higher into the they hope to be driving higher into the mid-60s, I think, over the next year or so. It hasn't gone as well for them as they'd like, but their competitor product is doing much better. That is the cash cow for the company. Defense is really, back on its heels right now because of some of these big fixed price contracts they signed that are out of water, which makes it that much more important to get the 737 rolling off lines. And just, I think, an interesting point of comparison, if you look at Boeing's inventory level, last time we saw it at 2Q, $85 billion of inventory on their balance sheet. Their competitor Airbus was in the mid 40 level billion dollars. So you could tell that's just an example of how bloated that inventory level is and how much they can unlock as they start to deliver airplanes. But again, 737 is the key to that. And they want to keep market share in that airplane too.